County EMA is here and we'll provide an update for you on.
Can you stand in front of the mic here?
Stand
Right here?
Right there.
Okay, sorry, I'm like up all night. I'm a mess.
You can bring a makeup artist.
No, I
We
didn't.
need to have a gravel.
Don't need one. Say your name and spell it like this. Start right off.
Sure. My name is Jette Cander, Jette. CAN as in Nancy, D as in David, ER, and I'm the Crawford County EMA Director.
Tell us a little bit about what you had out there.
So the damage that we sustained was near the Crawford Richland line. We had about 6 homes with significant damage. 2 that they weren't living in any, they're not living in at the moment. Displaced people, probably only 1 family. The rest decided to stay because and in a community like ours, everybody comes together, so we don't usually have the sheltering issue.
Injuries?
No injuries. Everybody went to the basement as we try to educate them to do. No one had video. The sounds were different for them. We had vehicles that were flipped over, a lot of blown out windows, one that lost most of their roof, 2 of them actually, and let's see what other damages. It just blown out. It seemed like a lot of vehicle damage this time around, so it was significant, but Red Cross is out there at the moment. They've been out since last night, but returned today to serve those that have needs.
Seeing the damage, is it shocking to you that there have been no injuries?
It is. You know, we're looking at a possible F2. We'll have that officially later today. So that's 120-mile wind speed. So that there weren't, with the amount of tree damage that there is out there, it is hard to believe that there weren't more injuries. We're very lucky.
Can you do me a favor and just explain the tornado stretching that 10-mile route, just to kind of give people like locator visual of how that went?
So where it started in Crawford County around State Route 103, it was about they're saying about 120 yards wide. Others that have visually seen it feel that it was bigger than that, but those are the parameters that were being given by National Weather Service at the moment. So if you think of something, a football field wide, rolling across your property with 120-mile-an-hour winds, it took things in every direction. So we always look for what it looks like on the trees for us is like they were put in a blender. So you see that kind of damage, and then you see wood sticking inside of houses, you know that it's no longer a straight line wind issue.
And then it ended at?
It ended in Richland County, but we had some damage in Huron County, so all 3 directors are here. We work well together. We're on the phones with each other at night. Whatever comes through my county for this storm was headed into Richland, so we try to keep each other aware.
Right.
Anything else?
Was there any livestock lost?
No livestock lost. We saw a few outdoor pets. They had cattle that were trapped in a barn on Crawford side, and they were able to get them out, so no loss of animals that we know of at this time. We good?
Just in case some of us didn't get out to where these places
Sure.
were, just a little more descriptive about what you saw and the damage from those winds.
You know, the damage, all the metal roofing is what probably stands out the most. So it took anything metal and it wrapped it around trees. It's in a fence line almost. It's just pure debris that blew to those fence lines. The vehicles, like I said, you don't see overturned vehicles very often. Trailers that were blown off their foundation, you can't really tell they're trailers. The mobile trailers, though, the recreational vehicles, there was a lot of damage to them. We saw one that was more of a pop-up trailer, but it was on wheels. It lifted it up and sent it a good 30 yards into another trailer. So if you think it's on its wheels and it lifted it up and threw it, It's quite the visual.
Did you talk to some of these homeowners and how exasperated are they?
You know, I think they're still in that shock trauma. They were very calm, actually. Most of them had talked to their insurance agents already. So those things were in place. We always try to educate them to say, hey, take a step back for a moment. I know everybody wants to fix everything, and there are a lot of people calling that provide services. You know, they just need that moment to kind of understand what's going on for them no one, that's not an everyday occurrence for most people. I mean, most of them never lived through a tornado like that. So when we were out there, it was just mostly quiet, very calm. A lot of community members trying to get out there to help them, but just kind of taking a step back for them right at the moment.
Any stories about where they took shelter?
All of them in the basement. So there was nobody that we ran into in any of those houses that stood out on the porch like you usually see people do to take pictures. They heeded the warning. A lot of them, since there were several, and I know in my county we had 3 back-to-back tornado warnings. So most people weren't sure if that was a new one or if it was additional. So that was different for us. We had 2 minutes between one set of tornado warnings. So, you know, that we had a couple of lines go through. We were lucky we didn't have the ones in the south. I know there was significant damage, and the emergency management personnel, we all reach out to each other to see if they needed anything there as well. But yeah, it's been eventful. It's been an eventful evening. But again, our communities are all wonderful, and everybody comes out to help.
What was your first reaction when you saw the sun come up, after the sun came up and you saw the damage?
You know, you always think of the people first and are thankful that there were no lost lives or injuries. To this day, we don't know of anybody that's even had an injury. That is significant for us, for somebody to live through that. Property can be replaced, and it's a horrible thing for them to have to live through. But I think that's just what sank in for me, was that we didn't have any loss of life.
Of the 6 homes that were with significant damage, did you say a couple were mobile homes, or did I?
There were a couple of mobile homes, but they weren't being lived in at the time. So
Is that part of the 6?
no, we didn't count those as part of the 6.
So
Yeah,
the 6 were single family.
they were families being lived in, so they were inhabited. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was several reports, maybe one of, that there was, after this initial tornado went through, there was another one that had touched down too. Do you have any reports of that, or?
I have not heard of anything other than the one that they were trying to assess the damage for in both of our areas. Haven't had anything reported to our office.
Maybe a radar picked up another tornado, so just single.
They're going to give us that information later today, so we don't really want to speak on the fact of what we think and what we know. We would rather stick with the facts for that.
Now I have Huron County, the guy Kai's here with Huron County.
Yes.
And
Hi.
he was with us late last night. He showed up here at the firehouse with us, so he can talk a little bit too. He's got the information from Ryan too on drone footage.
Kai Stevens, Deputy Director at Huron County Emergency Management. When the storms came through yesterday, we were closely watching it, and once the tornado warning was issued for Crawford, Huron, and Richland counties, we made our way to the Willard area. During that time, Willard Fire Department had spotters throughout the area, and it was reported to me by a Willard firefighter that there was a large tornado on the ground at the time, just past the county line into Crawford County. That's when the Weather Service was notified of a large tornado on the ground. Then we started surveying the area, see if we can locate any damage. There was no significant damage in Huron County. There was a couple poles down, limbs down, no outbuilding. The roof was taken off. Other than that, we did not sustain any damage compared to Crawford and Richland counties.
Very good? All right. Thank you all very much again for your patience and for coming down and making the trip. As I said, we will provide additional information probably around 3:30 so that you have something to report with the 4 o'clock news. Thank you.